Hi, good afternoon.
Hi,
How are you doing? How do you like Didac this year? Is this the first time you've come
it's
to
my
Didac?
first time to Didac, first time in India.
Oh,
So yeah, it's
really?
fantastic. Great to be
First time in
here.
India?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wonderful. How was your last 2 days in Didac?
Been really busy. There's been a
Yeah.
lot of walking, a lot of conversations, but it's been really interesting to see some great businesses here.
Did you imagine as many people?
No, wasn't quite expecting as many people here and as many
Right.
stalls to get around.
People tend to get much more tired here than they imagine.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
been very long
for
days.
the last 2 days, it's been just me going into the room and just crashing, right? I
Yeah,
can't do anything else, not even drink water.
yeah.
Right. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Where do you come from? And what do you do?
Yeah, so I'm based in the UK. I've been working in the education sector for over 25 years now.
Wow.
I started with a company when in the UK they were rolling out internet connectivity into schools and colleges, so quite
Wow.
a long time ago.
Right, right.
And then I've worked for a wide variety of education companies over the years, technology companies, specialists in education support, consultancy and curriculum, and various publishers, etc. as well.
Right.
And then 5 years ago, joined a company called GL Education. They were supplying standardised assessments into schools, and I went to work for them and
Right.
looked after their international team. So moved away from working with UK schools
Right.
into the world of international education. And then this year I joined ISC Research,
Right.
who specialise and focus purely on the international market. Yeah.
That was quite a smooth transition for you to go from this to then, the assessments curriculum for international and then
Yeah.
to come to this.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
continue to work with companies that are all working within that sector.
So what does ISC Research do? If you can tell our audience a little bit about that.
So we really are a specialist organisation focused on the international schools market. So they are schools that are teaching in English medium. Those schools, we've just celebrated the first international school opened over 100 years ago in
Right.
Switzerland.
Right.
And then now today, nearly 15,000 international schools around the world. And it's a $64 billion market. So it's a rapidly growing, expanding market.
Right.
We have a team based around the world that go into schools. They speak to head teachers, senior leaders. They
Right.
understand what's happening in those schools. And then we collect that data and we share the data with education suppliers.
Right.
But we also have a whole series of market intelligence. So
Right.
what are the key issues that international schools are facing? What challenges are they looking at? What are the key areas around curriculum development in those schools? So we can then share obviously that information for those working in the sector, and the schools themselves also work very closely with us, wanting to understand what's happening across the international schools market.
So you help companies really get a strong GTM,
Yeah.
right? And also potentially save some mistakes that they will potentially make as they get there.
Yeah. So we can share information on kind of regulations in different countries. So suppliers can think about, is their product fit for a particular market?
Right.
What type of schools are best suited for them? Are they more aligned with a US curriculum style school, CBSE, Indian curriculum schools, for example?
What are your largest markets that you work with at the moment?
So I suppose the biggest international markets are areas like the UAE. There's a large concentration there. Southeast Asia is another dominant market as well for international schools.
Right.
And it changes consistently. So you'll see schools, countries growing quite significantly and rapidly. So areas of interest at the moment, for example, would include India. We're seeing a lot more international schools opening in India.
Yeah.
Markets like Saudi Arabia. Vietnam, etc., have been quite exciting areas over the last
Was there a shock for you when you saw just how many organizations here, how many schools are here, how much expansion is happening?
Yeah, we've met with some fantastic people over the last couple of days, had some great conversations, and for me, learning about the number of state schools in India was just kind of blew my mind. The kind of numbers here.
Right. Where do you think is the next big opportunity for somebody?
I think for people looking at the international schools market, I think key for us is we're seeing really exciting things happen in the Middle East, in particular in Saudi. The government has a 2030 vision and plan, and education is at the heart of that. They see the future, making sure that the next generation have the skills that's needed to transform a country. So international education is playing a huge part of that.
Right. Wonderful. One of the reasons why we do this is because we believe there should be more people in education. Me personally, after I've come here, it took me very little time to realize I'm going to be here for a long time. I don't think people know unless they take the jump. A little bit like bungee jumping.
Yeah.
Right? You're scared initially, but once you jump, it's like super fun, right? For most people. So what is the message that you have for young people out there? Why education? Why do you think from an international perspective we should take going to education?
It's a great sector to work in because it really does change the world. Education opens the doors for so many people. I've worked in the sector like yourself. Once you start working in it, you see and you learn so much, and it's great to be part of that ecosystem. I've got many friends, many family that are all teachers as well. I've worked with lots of teachers, and I think there's a real passion in the sector for the schools, and I think for people going out into the world now, that actually going into education can really be a lifelong changing experience for you, and it's a great career to go into.
A lot of people that I talk to tell me about the compounding effect or a snowball effect, where you don't know which life at what point of time you're touching and when it'll come back, and it doesn't even have to come back. In fact, I think teachers are like silent heroes.
Exactly.
Because people don't get back. They remember them in conversations with friends or at interviews, and they ask them who was your role model and things like that. But I was telling somebody earlier that there's a special place in heaven for educators.
Absolutely,
Because it's almost like a service for what they're doing.
Yeah.
So
you never forget, you never forget those teachers that make a real impact on you. And because I've worked in the sector for so long, I've actually bumped into my old teachers from school at conferences and events in the UK.
That must be crazy, right?
And it's crazy, You automatically go into hi, miss, and having a conversation with them. And you just remember, the impact that they had on your life, the skills that they teach you, as well as the knowledge and the confidence they give you that, that you then go out into the world.
Probably we don't realize when we're younger because we don't have the maturity yet. But as we grow up, and as I think we become parents ourselves, it becomes a little bit more, Thank you so much for your time. Love chatting with you.
It's been great to meet you. Thank you.